Good evening, everybody. My name is Cami. I'm part of Team Harmony, and I'm so thrilled to be here with you. Thank you for taking the time to come to this call or to watch the recording. I'm pretty excited about what we're going to be talking about tonight. I've studied for a long time. This has been, I like to geek out about health and wellness stuff, and I have been kind of a nerd when it comes to like studying about how and why we get sick and how and why we get well. So I'm honored to share this with you, and maybe it'll help clear some things up. Maybe it'll help you create your action path forward towards better health. That's my goal. That's my heart, because I'm all about total health and wellness, mind, body, and spirit, because they all work together. And so it's the fall here in the Great Northwest, and we're talking about, people talk about flu season or how and why, you know, oh, I start out when I get sick and I stay sick for a while, can't seem to get well. So hopefully this will inspire somebody. Hopefully this will give you some ideas. Um, so yeah, we'll just get started. I'm going to share my screen. Something I don't have on this um, tool, as I was creating my PowerPoint, I kind of ran out of time. There is a, a a resource that I use, and I get it from Amazon, and it's called Prescriptions for Nutritional Healing. I do not represent that book, but I love going to that as a resource for all things health and wellness. Gives me ideas of tools to use um, for nutrition, for supplements, for oils, for habits, for different things to try to help my body towards health for specific ailments. So I love that book as a resource, and I didn't get it into my presentation. So just wanted to mention that to you. Prescriptions for Nutritional Healing, and I love that book. I, I have every edition. So, okay, so we're going to be talking about the immune system. If we understand how it works, then we can understand how to stay well. So that's my concept with this. Obviously, we can't just pluck out one system from the body, but if we have an understanding of how our immune system works, then we can assist our bodies in becoming well. So you can see that our immune system um, is composed of our mucous membrane in our nose and um, in our mouth, nose, throat, our lymph vessels, our thymus, our tonsils, our lymph nodes, our spleen, our skin, our bone marrow, and our lymphatic vessels. So that would be our immune system as referred to by a textbook or as you're studying biology and the different systems. Here's a little video of why, and maybe Heather, you can speak up if the sound doesn't work for us, okay?
We don't hear anything, Cami.
Okay. Um, Oops. Sorry. I'm looking for our start autoplay. There we go. Share computer sound. Okay, try it again.
The immune system is made up of organs, glands, blood cells, and antibodies that protect the body from foreign invaders like bacteria, viruses, and toxins. These invaders are called antigens. When the immune system detects an antigen, it responds by producing antibodies, proteins that recognize and help destroy the invader. And it does this through a complex network of responses. Let's break down some of the key players. The thymus helps T cells develop, which are responsible for attacking infected cells and regulating immune responses. The spleen filters the blood, removes damaged cells, and helps detect infections. The appendix stores good bacteria for gut health and contains immune cells that help prevent infection. Bone marrow produces blood cells. Red carry oxygen, platelets help with clotting, and white fight infection. The tonsils act as the first line of defense, catching germs before they enter the body, and the lymphatic system produces lymphocytes, a type of white blood cell, and filters harmful substances as well as maintains fluid balance. Comment below if you want to learn more about the immune system and check out the full study sheet in the Nursing School Success Bundle.
So that's a nice brief overview about how our immune system works and what the different parts of the body do. Obviously, infections are a sign of a weakened immune system, and that throws all of those things into action. We need white blood cells, our glands get swollen, different parts of our body have those white blood cells trying to attack different um, different um, uh, the germs, viruses, whatever is going on in our body. If our bodies are constantly fighting and on high alert, it can cause autoimmune disorders where our immune system literally kind of gives up and has decides that it is just tired. Um, and obviously that all of the fallout from that um, causes inflammation, the stress, all of the different parts of our different systems of our body not working properly. Because let's face it, we all have germs and toxins that we deal with on a regular basis. But if our immune system is down, then of course um, it's compromised. So when have you ever noticed that you have maybe a friend of yours or someone may seem like they catch everything that's going around and somebody else hardly ever gets sick, or if they do, they're down for just a short period of time. And that has to do with the stress on their cells and their body that they're experiencing. Different people experience different amounts of stress, toxins, trauma, thoughts. Um, and so their cells have different abilities to respond. So I would love to help shift the thinking of helping the body return to the idea that the body wants to be well. It's not created with dis-ease. Your path to wellness includes helping lift the stressors off of your body. And we're all encompassing. So, our thoughts, our, our experiences, our habits, all contribute to our immune system response and the amount of stress that our body goes under. So here's common stressors to our immune system or our total health and wellness. So we obviously you see a bunch of fast food, hydrogenated oils, seed oils, different things like that. I think there's a common thought that food just fills the empty stomach. It doesn't isn't fuel for healthy cellular activity. And that's why I love to talk about Cellergize because there's always room for improvement in our diets. And of course, I'm going to encourage people to eat healthier, but Cellergize and drinking more water is a great place and an easy way to start. So that's a beautiful thing. And I think part of our health and wellness is brain and emotionally related things. So that puts stress. We talk about stress as stress that we live in our lives, our lifestyle. And we're a lot of us as we grow and change, we're missing time that grounds us in our life and history and family and sense of identity. And so I live near my parents, and that was by choice, um, to have them live close to their grandparents and hear those stories, hear what it was like for them during World War II, things that they learned, life lessons that they learned, that sort of thing. That and perspective. I remember when I was a little kid, we lived in California. My parents' parents were all up here in Washington State. When my dad would be stressed with work and family and all these different things, we would take off after church. We would go visit a 90 something year old woman and named Mrs. Anderson. And she had been through a couple of house fires that were a total loss. She was the oldest living member of her family. Of her like siblings and parents, of course. She had lost a couple of children who died before she did. I think she had one living child left. And her perspective on life helped my dad through really rough times. So I think that's something that is not easily, we tend to rush past those relationships and honoring people who've lived a long time. And it doesn't have to be a blood relation to be someone who can speak into your life. And that relationship helps speak purpose and into theirs. So I think that's a beautiful thing, but it contributes to your mental and emotional health and wellness and perspective on life. So that's why I put that on there because I think that's something that is more recent in our development as a society that's more of a stress. People are separated from their their areas that they grew up in and places that give them a sense of identity and history. Also, our screens. Oh my goodness. I'm doing this wearing my yellow glasses, blue light blocking glasses. I have a blue light blocking screen on my phone. I have learned and listened to blue how invasive and disruptive blue light is for our health and wellness. Did you know that blue light blocks our production of ATP? So that is great for when you're sleeping, but um, it kind of lulls you. This unnatural blue light from our screens is not only unhealthy for us, but we have to use them for work and things during the day, and it blocks our ability to create energy. So if you're considering or thinking, why can't I get motivated? What can I do? Maybe limiting your screen time, getting out into the natural sunlight more, um, blocking the blue light coming from the screens, protecting your body from magnetic fields. These are all kind of new things. If you think of technology being fairly new, that people 100 years ago were not dealing with. So this is something that is a concern and contributing to your circadian rhythm being off, contributing to your body's total health and wellness. Our toxic load is heavier. I don't know if you guys have seen the number of, let's just take the number of uh, immunizations that people were uh, recommended in the 1950s, 60s, 70s, for example, is like was two or three or five by the time, the late 70s, early 80s. And then it has exploded from age 0 to 18 to be like 76. And not I'm not going to sit and argue about the immunization part of it, but if you look into the preservatives and that what is called adjuvants in the immunizations, they are toxins that go in your body. So the toxic load, if you follow that schedule, the toxic load on your body is more. And then you think of and a lot of our modern day conveniences. I read a book recently where it was written by a son of a professor. His father could no longer do his job because he had so many allergies to basically everything. And so started him down a path of understanding endocrine disruptors in soaps and shampoos and fragrances and detergents, and understanding what's in your paint that you paint your walls with, or off gassing of new carpets and different things, what that does to the body. So our toxic load is heavier than it was, say, 100 years ago. And likewise, people are spending less time in the sunshine. We all have a more sedentary lifestyles as we do more jobs on our computers, spend more time on our phones, spend more time on screens, and less time in relationship with people, and more time or less time in the sunshine and fresh air. And I'm going to make a we talk about light a lot when we're learning about the patches and phototherapy, and it's because we are creatures of light. We were meant to be in the sunshine more. Just basically that. And then over time, I believe we're a mind, body, and spirit. And what there are studies that show that if you wake up and have gratitude and wake up with a smile on your face and being thankful for this day and being thankful to God for the day, you pray that you actually live longer and get sick less. So there is um, a point to be made of having a faith and doing research about what you believe in, and practicing that faith that um, that helps your body live longer and stronger because it does give you a sense of hope. So I'm going to make my point in a minute. Oops, I went backwards. Sorry. So we're talking about the shift from being unwell to health. And rather than focusing on all the reasons that you're unwell or the sickness, I want you to identify as a healthy person who may have some challenges, but you're going to get through it. You get more of what you focus on. And it goes hand in hand, mind, body, and spirit. So if you if you boost your immune system, you boost your body's health, it's all the stuff that we kind of know. These are basic things, a balanced diet, rich in fruits and vegetables and lean proteins. You need protein for good, healthy amino acid production in your body. You need fruits and vegetables for the fiber and the prebiotics and probiotics, but also you need them for your antioxidants and adequate sleep. You know that you detox when you sleep, right? Regular moderate exercise, you do not have to go work out hard. But moving your body is also helping your lymphatic system to flush. So, movement is incredibly important. And not rest is incredibly important. So getting adequate sleep, resting your brain and resting from stress, but also exercising, but not exercising to the point that you're stressing your body. Um, and then managing stress. I think that's a big thing in our society of what we um, learning different practices, stretching, and mental, mind, body, and spirit. Again, there's breathing exercises. If you guys want to look up water, whiskey, or coffee breathing techniques, the water technique for breathing and the whiskey technique for breathing really does help your body go from your sympathetic nervous system, where you're in that fight or flight or flee mode, to rest, digest, and heal mode. So it really does help your parasympathetic and your sympathetic nervous system. Of course, good hygiene, stay hydrated, all of those good things. So the causes of dis-ease, if they are toxins, trauma, negative thinking, or lack of nutrition, to get more health, to make strengthen your immune system, guess what? We get to do the opposites of those things. Help take the toxic load out of our body, reduce the toxic load that goes into our body, and then help your body unload that toxin. Um, so we'll talk about some tools on how to do that. Of course, restoring your wellness after a trauma can be capital T trauma or little t trauma, mind, body, and spirit. Sometimes that takes a coach, it takes a counselor, it takes healthy practices, mindful practices, and then feeding your body goodness. And I'm going to say feeding your body light as well. Another thing that you can look up is a type of photography that shows the light emanating from foods, whether they're organic or not. And an organic mushroom, for example, so much more light comes from it than a conventionally grown mushroom with pesticides and herbicides on it. So if you think of life, pesticides and herbicides are killing things, but so they also kill things inside your body that you may want to live in there. So here's ways and thoughts about getting better sleep, that restorative sleep that restores your immune system. So there are studies shown that we have our body actually, our brain makes melatonin in the early morning when you're looking at the sunlight. So if you think of your habits in the morning, what you do in the morning sets off whether or not you're going to get a healthy night's sleep. That may shift some things. So I'm working on not looking at my phone first thing in the morning. Um, I want to make sure that the first thing that I see, the first light that I see is for any length of time is the sunlight. And I'm stretching and exercising and doing a starfish as like if you think of stretching as in I'm a winner and you have your arms up above your head and you are saying I'm a winner and you're believing and thinking that you're going to have a great day, guess what? It's going to shift how you have your day. And it when you strengthen your immune system, you strengthen your thinking. It's one more tool of taking stress off of your cells and stress off of your immune system. Other things for getting better sleep, it's really best if your body isn't going to bed still digesting food. Um, if you have your last meal a minimum of 3 hours before bedtime, earlier is even better. And giving your body a break from digesting for a minimum of 12 hours is really good. I'm a fan of intermittent fasting, but I think breakfast should be a great meal. So protecting your eyes, we talked about that from that negative blue light. You really don't understand, or I didn't understand how damaging it is for your mitochondria. It really tells your mitochondria to stop functioning at their best. So if you think about all the screens that we are around, and mitochondrial function is a key to health, it will serve you well to make some adjustments and don't get overwhelmed. Just pick one thing at a time to work towards better health. Everything will count, but sometimes we need to make little adjustments before we can make big adjustments. Then EMF protection, highly recommend that. We do have a patch that does help us with that, and I'll talk about that in just a second. And then I would urge you to consider prayer and practicing faith as a health and wellness practice as well. Add that um, positive thoughts, reading scripture, wisdom from outside sources as part of your health and wellness practice. It really does ground you and help your ability to handle what comes through the day. Because I can promise you, if I have I feel like more of a victor when I ground myself in all of those healthy practices in the morning. So if you your sympathetic nervous system is what feels all the feels. You run from the tiger. It's where we kind of get stuck sometimes. Yeah, we want to perform at a high level. We want to do our best, and it's necessary. That's where cortisol is important. Our cortisol levels are the best in the mornings. So if we get up, I would recommend doing the hardest things of your day first in that early morning, that morning time that's when your cortisol is at its best. And so that is good for you, but you also need to learn to shift out of that. So, um, when I get stuck in this run from the tiger, how am I going to solve this problem? How am I going to keep performing at a high level? And then challenges and problems keep coming my way, then that's where I get stuck if I feel like I'm alone. So when my consideration for a faith, if I feel like I'm only human and my resources are limited, my finances are limited, my health is limited, I get overwhelmed by fear and failure, then um, I could get stuck there without my faith. So these are things that I practice. These are thoughts and from my faith that I practice that literally strengthen me because I walk through my day differently. And I'll explain I'll share a personal story that literally I had people telling me, I don't know how you're doing what you're doing because um, the circumstances were the most difficult things in my life that I've ever been in. And it's part of why I didn't get sick. So if I go through my life believing that I'm loved and valuable, that my worth is not based on my performance, that I'm never alone, if I have everything I need for the work that I'm supposed to do today, that my life has meaning, that I have a friend, no matter what, that there's nothing on this world in this world that I can't overcome, and that I'm more than a conqueror, that shifts my thinking and actually strengthens my immune system. So Henry Ford says, whether you think you can or you think you can't, either way, you're right. My mom was had to go through a surgery. She had a mass in her uterus. It was non-cancerous, but she had a tumor in there, and they were wanting to remove it. It was pretty large, and so she agreed to it. But when she said, "I don't want you to use a general anesthetic," so my mom is she's a tough cookie, so we'll just leave it there. But when they and this is her mindset was, nope, we're going to do it this way. This is what we're going to do. And she did. They said she was going to take 6 weeks to recover. She said, no, I'll be back in 2. And she did, but she had the tools in her toolbox to help her health and wellness. And so that's that it. So let me tell you just super briefly a story of one of the most difficult seasons of my life. Somebody who I had an incredible friendship with. Our relationship didn't really even get started. We were the best of friends, but we were talking about a future together. But he was working on finalizing his divorce, and a major heart attack at the end of his workday. He was at the gym. He had a major heart attack. It's called a widowmaker, the type of heart attack that he had. And the hardest season of my life for the next 18 months because he had a severe anoxic brain injury. And I went to visit him every day. And the healthy habit that I kept. So I was working out 3 times a week with a personal trainer. I was whole food, plant-based plus fish. I was so healthy. Um, but that event and that just gutted me, shredded me, and shifted. I was at the hospital not 24/7, but all day, every day. And it shifted my thing. So everything in my immune system, all of those healthy habits that I had went away. Wasn't eating great. I was eating hospital food. I was not eating enough. Sometimes I was not everything in me. I was during COVID season there was I was at a hospital with other sick people. I was not I was worried about where my next paycheck was going from because I was shifting from to being self-employed and I couldn't do my work. Everything was very, very stressful. And so the one healthy habit I kept, of course, was my grounding in prayer time and scripture reading. And that kept me from sucking my thumb in a corner. And the phototherapy patches. I learned about them about a month after his heart attack, and those were my saving grace. And I promise you, that was one of the main reasons I did not get sick during the most difficult season of my life. So, your immune system is, we looked at the different parts and pieces of the body that compile the immune system, but your immune system, your whole body works together. We can't just pick out one system and say, oh, this is going to help that. So I'm going to ask you to take a look at this. This is taken from a book called Mind Over Medicine. Dr. Lissa Rankin is somebody I heard her TED Talk and listened to her book while I was visiting my loved one in the hospital and rehab center every day. We listened to a lot of things about health and wellness and learned about these things. But look at this, and you may be triggered, or you may be thinking, oh, there, I know, oh, okay, I see the one thing in my life that could be better. That's your trigger for helping boost your immune system. Work on that for a minute. So, if you achieve all kinds of things in the material world but lose your health or your peace of mind, you get little or no pleasure from those accomplishments. So, this is a call to see what building block of your own health and wellness, mind, body, and spirit, that you could improve on. So I'm a life coach. I don't know if how many of you are familiar with doing this. This is a life wheel of looking at each aspect of your life. And I'm going to promise you, when there's stress in any one of these, it's difficult on your health and wellness. But it if you look at it like you're not stuck in any one place. You're just moving through from unhealth towards health. It's a shift in your mindset and it helps keep motion forward towards health. So, patches that help restore your body to health and wellness. We talk a lot about the X39, and if you only do one patch, that is the one to do. And that one restores your body's ability to make healthy cells. So it literally, over time, resets your genome to a younger state. So that one, it also helps your body create glutathione. And glutathione is an detoxifier. And that we have a patch for glutathione, but that absolutely goes after bugs, germs, viruses, bacteria, molds, yeasts. It helps your body. That's your body's major antioxidant. So I can't say enough good things about the X39 patch. And if you need an additional boost, the glutathione patch, that's on one of our next slides. So I'll talk about that in a minute. But Eon also, how many of you have inflammation when you're sick and you get the aches and the body aches and the pains, maybe some swelling, uh, a general sense of unwell, the Eon patch helps your body create an anti-inflammatory and antioxidant called superoxide dismutase. And it also helps shift your body from fight or flight into rest, digest, and heal. So, this is a major tool in your toolbox to help restore your sense of well being. Because, as we talked about, when you are mentally healthy and calm and peaceful, and you feel like you have tools in your toolbox, your cells have less stress. So, here's some more tools in your toolbox. So, restorative sleep. We talked about how amazing that is for your body, system by system, um, organ by organ. Your body goes through a detox process. You need a minimum of 7.5 hours of restorative sleep for your body to go through all of those different systems to get um, to restore your health and wellness. So if you aren't getting a great night's sleep, your body can't be well. We're designed to need that sleep, and because of a part of the detox processes that happen. Um, so one of the first things I noticed with using the patches was my no longer needing to get up in the middle of the night to pee. Thankfully, that's amazing because that's one more disruption in your night's sleep, right? But I love that. But the Alavita helps your body restore melatonin, and it helps balance your body's ability to for oxidative stress, and it's really great for skin, collagen and cartilage production. Silent Night is a little bit stronger melatonin action. Again, all of these patches do not add anything to your body. And I want, but light, they're light reflectors. So we talk about our lack of sunshine and lack of getting outdoors and stuff. This is a way to add our own low level infrared light back to our bodies because our bodies love the light. So, glutathione, we talk about that being our immune system's first line of defense. It is the master antioxidant in our bodies. We need a lot of this, and it's made in our liver. Do you know that when we take those over the counter um, uh, things like the Tylenols, the different things, they're hard on our liver. So um, we need to take a look at restoring our liver's ability to make this glutathione. Um, and that is our immune system. That's part of our immune system right there. X49, I put this on here for that EMF protection. This tells your body to make a copper peptide that is similar to the copper peptide of X39. They're sister copper peptides, but this provides additional cellular support in that way for the brain and nerve system, the heart, cardiovascular system, the muscles, and the bones. So the bone marrow is where cells are produced. And so your white blood cells come from your bone marrow. Guess what? If you can boost your immune system by strengthening your bones, how cool is that? And EMF protection. So the X49 is amazing for that. So I know this can be overwhelming. I don't want you to say, "Oh, I've got a patch with all of them." Um, your body and you as you're watching this, will know what settles in your body and what you need to try next. What healthy habit do you need to incorporate next? Oh, what patch do you need to add to your routine next? But don't get overwhelmed. Don't try to do it all at once. You know, you'll figure out what you need to do next for restorative health. So SB6 is wonderful to create balance in the adrenal system, your kidneys, your hormones, balance your thyroid, your bladder, your intestines, your pancreas. Those are all really good. And guess what? Your spleen, that's part of your immune system. SP6 is named after spleen 6. It is a patch that is generally recommended to put on that acupuncture point, spleen 6. How cool is that? Energy enhancers flush the lymphatic system. That's the granddaddy of them all. They help support the circadian rhythm by giving you energy during the day. You know what the blue light from our screens tell your body to dial down your ATP production. Well, if you want, if you have to be around the blue lights, of course, protect yourself from the blue lights, but you may want to boost your energy production and burning that fat as fuel. That the energy enhancers signal your mitochondria to burn fat as fuel. And then it flushes the lymphatic system, which is again part of our immune system. And then carnosine, that is another antioxidant. The antioxidant means so things that are oxidative. If you think of a worm going through an apple, the worm causes oxidative stress on the cells of the apple, turning them brown as it goes through, right? Cutting the apple. That's really difficult on the cells, and it causes oxidative stress when oxygen hits the cells. So uh, germs, bugs, viruses, heavy metals, toxins cause oxidative stress, but carnosine can bind itself to toxins and help get those out of the body. So carnosine, glutathione are antioxidants. Carnosine is found more in the brain, the heart, and the muscles. And it's also really good for helping your body with blood sugar. But carnosine is an antioxidant. So it does render those things that are causing oxidative stress on your body useless and help flush it out of your system. So that is my brief deep dive on the immune system, kind of taking a different path of eat your veggies and take your vitamin C. Those things are great for you. The Cellargize is amazing for you. We have a ton of tools in our toolbox, but I really want you to hear that you do have a ton of tools in your toolbox. Mind, body, and spirit. Pick one health and wellness, one healthy new routine to add to, maybe take one unhealthy thing away and replace it with a healthy routine. See how you can boost your own immune system because you have the power inside you to be well. Your body wants to be well. So that's what I've got for you. You have a great evening, and thanks, you guys, for hanging in there.
Thanks, Cami.